Yeah, so these acoustic loads, it is so loud, and then when it reflects off the launch pad, it comes bouncing back up and destroys your satellite. And so that video, I saw that video. It's absolutely incredible. The amount of water that suddenly deluges onto the pad and absorbs all that acoustic energy. Of course, it's very, very important. And Ariane 6 is going to have 4 P120s blasting away. So that is going to be very, very loud. So we are coming up to the AVUM burn cutoff any second, about 30 seconds away. We'll probably see it on the animation. Frederick there, who's looking pensive, waiting for confirmation that the AVUM will cut off.
Les paramètres à bord sont normaux.
And he's just telling us that everything's normal at the moment while we wait for that AVUM burn cutoff. And we can see on all the parameters that yellow line following the green line, so we know that telemetry is pretty much exactly where we expect it to be.
Yes.
So we should see this AVUM burn cut off any second now.
Deuxième extinction de l'étage AVUM.
There we go, perfectly in sync with the animation. So that's it. And we've got 40 seconds now before we deploy the payload. Exactly why have we got this 40-second gap?
You're approaching a very important moment. We do it to stabilize the stage after the burn, to make the
Orbite
pointing
atteinte après le deuxième boost est nominale.
Orbit is still nominal, and also to ensure the final fine pointing before satellite release. So
yeah, and we can see the satellite here, the upper stage, doing that fine pointing. It's not just the animation, it is actually doing these maneuvers in space.
It is actually doing this. It is needed to have the right attitude required for the payload before its separation in a few seconds.
Yeah, and of course, you know, the only point about building a rocket is to get things into space. So, of course, this is an incredibly important moment as we get near to the separation of LARES-2.
Yes.
And
Séparation LARES-2.
And there it is. He has confirmed separation, and that is going to cause quite a lot of celebration in there.
Yeah.
You can see how happy all the people in the flights are. Lots of handshakes. You know, obviously it's super important that you launch something with your rocket.
Oh,
and here we go. This is the onboard camera watching LARES-2 launch. It's super. Oh, here we go. Here we go. We're going to see it. It's we're quite a bit behind, so we're just going to watch it on the camera like everyone else in the fishbowl.
Delay.
It's going to look serene, but of course it's going at 20,518 kilometers an hour, or 12,749. Oh,
there it is.
Oh wow! Look at that. That is absolutely beautiful. So yes, that is traveling 14 times faster than a fighter jet. So yeah, it looks serene into that inky blackness of space. Well, congratulations to absolutely everyone that's involved there.
Yes, this is a very first important moment of this mission, and you can see the people in Jupiter are, of course, celebrating because 8 years and more of hard work now have reached their first conclusion with the LARES-2 separation. We know that we will have soon after the separation of the 6 CubeSats, but this really represents already a major milestone for this picture-perfect flight so far.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a major milestone, isn't it? And it goes not only to qualifying the rocket, but also we've released a payload, and that payload is going to do some real science.
Yeah, and it is important that we are not receiving any confirmation from the payload itself because it's passive. So the confirmation that is there has been given by the launcher itself.
Yeah, I'd just like to say I love watching the people in the fishbowl at the moment. All the people that we've seen in those videos chatting about projects that they've been involved with for years and years and years, sometimes decades. And there they all are, seeing their satellite, seeing their rocket work perfectly, and it must be.
Can you imagine the pressure relief now? It's really a first moment in which you open your valve and you do.
So Dante, you've been here. I mean, what does that feel like? What does that?
I was here, but I was trying to keep low my emotions and my relief because we still have something to do. But yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah.
It's the second time for me that I'm watching an inaugural flight, and it is always a surprise.
Yeah, so obviously the rocket is still actually flying under its own computer control. It's still doing stuff. It's just over. It's probably about 9 minutes or so till the third AVUM ignition.
Yes.
And it's only going to be for 11 seconds. So that third AVUM ignition, what exactly are we trying to achieve with that?
Now we have to separate the CubeSats, and we want the CubeSats to be distant enough from the LARES-2 satellite not to perturb its very specific and precise measurements, and also to be sure that because of the slight friction, you remember the metaphor we said before, cannonball and feeder, we can say that CubeSats are feeders, so are more affected by the disturbance of the, even if there is very low density, still they can drag a little bit. And so we want to have at least more or less 50 kilometers of difference in altitude of the orbit.